This is a poem. I have a series of poems which several publishers have described as rabidly uncommercial. And this is by poetry standards. About the actor and future Batman, Robert Pattinson. Yes. So this is one of those. This is called Careers Advisory Test Results for Robert Douglas Thomas Pattinson. You, Robert Pattinson, you will be someone who designs security shutters for small, independent high street retailers. You will throw yourself into the work and eventually win an award for innovation in 2020. You will meet Isabel in 2016 at an industry conference, and whatever it is, you will hit it, sever it quite off. The hotel room will have mottled wallpaper in pale green and orangey hues that you will focus intensely on while trying to delay orgasm. They look like a test for color blindness. You will later be tested for color blindness. You will not be colorblind, but the testing process will make you largely horny. You will be married in the old church in her hometown where her parents were married. Your speech about her ground leaves people in tears, but in a good way, like how toilet paper is good. Like that, but with pathos. She works at an owl sanctuary. You have never seen Alan Partridge by this point, so for a while when people make jokes, you don't get it. And if you're honest, you never really get Alan Partridge. You just think it's a shame. Your first child is a girl, and Isabel thinks she should be called Lynn. And then you realize that this is another Alan Partridge reference, but by then, it's too late. You will meet Sandy in 2021 at an industry conference and become deeply aware of how she reminds you of Isabel without the baby and the references that are beyond you and the things you don't want to call baggage but are unable to find a different word for that conveys a benign version of the same meaning. But mainly, it's the baby, which is pulling focus in the Pattinson household somewhat. So when you meet Sandy in 2021 at an industry conference, you will be tempted to let history repeat itself. But you will not, despite the shared glance that confirms you both know there is want. There is want. When you return home and postpone confession for a better time, you realize a better time will never be a good one. And after the better time, Isabel will not say anything for about 78 seconds. Her teeth will be gritted so firmly as to seem fixed in place forever. Then she will get up and leave the house. You will hear the car start, hear the slow rising whine of a motor as Isabel carefully three-point turns out of the drive in contrast to your swift and decisive exits. She will return half an hour later and sleep in Lynn's room that night. The next morning, she will not mention it, and gradually you return to something resembling your normal lives, the sword hanging over your heads, gradually withdrawing until the day you realize it's another example of something that has pulled focus. In 2022, the shutters you designed that won an award for innovation will be discovered to have a significant design flaw that allows them to be raised manually from the outside. Every single one of them has to be reinstalled at significant costs. The company is sued by some businesses who have their premises broken into. You will be moved sideways, Robert Pattinson, so the company is seen to be doing something and then quietly fired in 2025. Your attempt to reinvent yourself as a consultant will be short-lived. You and your family will move to a smaller house and have no more children, partly for budgetary reasons. Your attempts to receive benefits fail as Isabel is earning over £18,000 per annum at the Owl Sanctuary, topped up by your occasional freelance work. You'll resist attempts by your and Isabel's parents to give you financial support out of pride. In 2030, you will give up. You will not try to get a job in the field of design work any longer. You will try to find some other means of income. In 2031, you'll get a weekend job at the garden centre. In 2031, you'll get a full-time job at the garden centre. They like you there. They like you there. You work hard to swiftly gain product knowledge. In 2032, you will feel relaxed for the first time in 7 years. You and Isabel will be okay by then. Not great, just okay. Lynn has started attending a public school as your parents insisted that they would pay for it. In 2039, you downsize to a small village near the garden centre that you now manage. You will You will gain a reputation after deciding to volunteer at a life drawing class. You could have been a model, Robert Pattinson, people will say. Isabel doesn't seem to mind. Lynn is slightly embarrassed when she brings friends back from uni, and some of them fancy you, especially after hearing about the life drawing thing. You will overhear Lynn and Isabel arguing about whether they can trust you shortly after this. Lynn does not bring back any friends from university again. In 2044, the garden centre's owners will announce they are looking to sell up. In 2045, they write to inform you the garden centre will need to hit certain levels of profit to remain viable. In 2046, Robert Pattinson, you will have a heart attack in the garden centre and you will die in hospital after a second attack. Isabel will be with you, but not Lynn. Lynn will have moved to Australia with her partner by then. Isabel will be crying, and your last moments will be full of doubt as to whether she is crying for your ebbing or for the years she has wasted on you, a man she could never fully trust. Your last words will be an apology, and Isabel will grab your wrist and attempt to smile. Your last emotional experience will be one of profound relief. Your last thought is that you killed yourself that day in the hotel with Sandy, even if nothing happened, but you will die before you feel anything about this thought. You will be cremated. At the funeral, someone will be wearing a black jacket with the Castrol GTX logo on the back. Or you could get a job as a postman.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, we'd appreciate it if you could hit the like button, if you could hit the subscribe button, and make sure to ring that bell icon so you don't miss any updates from us in the future. If you want to go that extra mile and support us a little further, we do have a Patreon channel with loads of exclusive goodies, and you can sign up for as little as $1 a month. We appreciate your help, guys, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.